Alright, Ellen, if that's your real name. It's probably a real name. Probably just generally guess that. How are you today, Ellen?
I haven't had a great day, to be honest. Someone accused me of stealing from my patients, which I would never do. Plus, Hilda's getting worse.
Stealing? How scandalous.
I don't know. Are you happy, Doctor?
No, I'm not happy. Eldritch horrors are clawing at my brain.
I had a feeling. You know, you can talk to me. Just because I'm the patient and you're the therapist doesn't mean it can't work the other way round.
He's in caretaker mode. Alright, well, tell me about Hilda.
I think we've got a bit off track. Maybe you should check your notes.
Hilda doesn't have long.
Hilda's the one I mentioned in our last session. She's dying. I can tell. I need to see her before it's too late.
Too late? Are you gonna suck her soul up or something with your Angel of Death powers?
To help her finish her unfinished business. People who are dying always have things they wish they could do before they go. We leave a lot of loose ends in our lives. We're very messy that way.
Messy, you say?
Dr. Dekker almost certainly had unfinished business. He didn't know he was going to die. But it's too late now. That's why I have to help Hilda while I can.
Dekker didn't tell you his unfinished business?
Can you ask me one thing at a time?
I'm easily confused, she says. Let's get back to the too late issue. Do you know Hilda's unfinished business?
Hilda wants to see her daughter. She's in Australia, so I'm going to have to use my talent.
Your talent of teleporting to Australia?
I can change my skin. What I look like. I can turn into a patient's loved one. I just hold their hand and ask them to imagine that the person they want to see is sitting right here next to them, and I become them. It's how I help them move on. That's how I comfort them.
Ooh, boy. That didn't come up last time at all. That she can transform like Mystique. Do you literally become that person and therefore, like, channel them? Or are you just impersonating them as a cheap mockery that looks really convincing? Because if it's not genuine, then you're like helping them move on through like a facsimile of their loved one, which is kind of not as good. You can change your skin.
I don't know how it works. I just know that it does.
And then you help people move on.
I only shift at work to help my patients. I don't have any interest in using it as a party trick or to deceive anyone.
Deceive anyone? Did you deceive Dr. Dekker?
I don't think I'm deceiving my patients when I shift. I'm helping them.
You are deceiving them. You're telling them to interact with this fake copy of their loved one that isn't real. And one of these days, they're going to see through your illusion because you're going to so blatantly behave incorrectly that they're just going to be angry and flip out or even be scared with the idea that this is some like sort of fake version of their family member. Like that could go so bad. I got to poke though. Party trick?
I'm not sure about.
Nope, no follow up on there. Okay. Do you know Hilda's doctor? Not going anywhere there. Let's go all the way back to the beginning.
I haven't had a great day, to be honest. Someone accused me of stealing from my patients, which I would never do. Plus, Hilda's getting worse.
Who accused you of stealing?
Of course, it was Terry that accused me of stealing. One of the other nurses. She's actually trying to make out that I'm some kind of HSK.
Alright, you're gonna have to explain that one. HSK.
Healthcare serial killer. You know, like those nurses that kill loads of their patients. I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Anyway, because a few of my patients have died on me, and some of those patients have given me gifts, Terry thinks it means that I've been killing them off.
Your patients give you gifts? Crap.
This? Well, it started with this. It's a locket. Alice, one of my patients, gave it to me before she died.
Alright, now you gotta tell me about Alice.
Alice was one of my favourites. She never held back, spoke her mind about everything. But she had a wicked sense of humour.
Did she give you a locket?
That's not really important. Ask me something else.
Oh, not important. Is this flashing down here now? What's going on down here? Ellen's accused of stealing, said it started with the locket. What else have her patients given her? Have you received other gifts? Alright. How many gifts? They think you're stealing because you keep getting stuff from all the dead patients.
This? Well, it started with this. It's a locket. Alice, one of my patients, gave it to me before she died.
Before she died.
I don't really have any...
No. How do I follow up on that one? How many patients have died?
I feel like you're asking me questions.
Alright, let's loop around to somewhere else then. How about the too late subject?
To help her finish her unfinished business. People who are dying always have things they wish they could do before they go. We leave a lot of loose ends in our lives. We're very messy that way. To help her finish her unfinished...
So I asked about unfinished business already. Do you have unfinished business? Is there something you want to do before you die?
I feel like you're...
Nope. Don't think that's gonna work out. Let's poke around a little bit elsewhere then. Where were you on Valentine's Day?
Actually, I had a hot date. It wasn't anything serious, just some guy I know. But it was a nice date. Different to what I'm used to.
Alright. Tell me about your wet, hot date.
Sorry.
Date.
That's not really important.
Nope, that's not going anywhere. Alright. Where were you Valentine's night? This time around, there's nothing to follow up on then. Some guy?
His name is Max. He's really sweet, but I don't see a future between us. He's not really my type.
And what is your type?
I don't really have any...
Alright, then tell me about Max.
I've known Max a couple of years, but this is the first time we've been on a date. I don't think he's boyfriend material.
He is not boyfriend material.
I'm not sure.
Nope, that's not going anywhere. Okie dokie, where do we go from here? Let's see, Dr. Dekker was stabbed. Tabbed.
Yes, I had a session with Dr. Dekker on Valentine's Day. 3 o'clock, I think. Just a few hours later, he was... I still can't get over it.
Do you know? Do you have any idea who may have wanted to kill him?
No.
Nope. 3 o'clock? 3 o'clock?
Dr. Dekker seemed fine on Valentine's Day. He seemed to be in a good mood. It didn't seem like anything was bothering him.
You say he's in a good mood. Do you base it on something?
We talked about families, I think. Our mums. I probably spent far too much time talking to Dr. Dekker about my mum.
Alright then, tell me about your mum.
I think we've got a bit off track.
Mom.
I don't know.
Mummy issues. Tom Cruise. That went on a tangent.
Actually, I had a hot date. It wasn't anything serious, just some guy I know. But it was a nice date. Different to what I'm used to.
Right, we should probably highlight that. You said different from... Probably could just do different, actually. Nope. Different from what you're used to.
It was very traditional, old-fashioned, you know? Dinner at a nice restaurant. Then we went for a little walk along the pier. Held hands, had a bit of a kiss. Then he called a cab, and I went home, alone.
You were alone? Time to go by Dr. Dekker's, perhaps? Murder him?
Sorry, no.
Walked the pier?
I feel like you're asking...
Called a cab?
I think it was about 11 when I left Max. I'm sure you could check with the taxi company if you really wanted to. If you think I need an alibi.
I was gonna say, you just pushed into the very specific time frames and then talking with a resource to figure out the exact times. Like, it sounds like somebody's reaching for an alibi for sure. Interesting that. Get back to the gift issue.
This? Well, it started with this. It's a locket. Alice, one of my patients, gave it to me before she died.
Alice gave you the locket? Nope. Already been there, more or less. Maybe Jaya should check Ellen's alibi with the taxi company. Okay, I don't think I can do that though, can I? From here, I mean? I can't, like, go... There's no Jaya screen?
I think we've got a bit off track.
Yeah, I can't just say Jaya.
I don't really
and try
have
that
anything
out.
to tell you about.
Alright, so I'm not really sure how to phrase this exactly. Haven't I asked that? I think I asked how many gifts she got and stuff like that. So yeah, I was on. I don't really feel bad about this one. I asked almost the exact same questions, basically, but phrased slightly differently, so I was on the right track.
I have a few other things. A watch, a ring. One patient gave me a little china bird. They're not valuable, just trinkets, really.
Alright, let's start from the beginning then. A watch?
Strictly speaking, all of the patient's belongings should be passed on to family members after they die. But Alice's son never visited. He didn't care about his mum. Why would he care about some worthless piece of jewellery? It just doesn't feel right to me. What do you think, Doctor? Am I wrong to keep the locket?
It's hard to say. On one hand, saying it's wrong for the stuff to go to... Saying that it's wrong for the stuff to go to their proper owners is kind of wrong-headed because, like, it's their family. You don't get to just inject yourself into everyone's lives and just force your way in. But if it was a genuine gift... If it was a genuine gift, then yeah, that's how gifts work. And then she can have it. And I don't know if she's telling the truth, but I just have to assume she is, because we're a therapist. It is okay to keep the locket.
That's not really important.
No, it's fine to keep the locket.
I don't really
Phrasing.
Strictly speaking, all of the patient's belongings should be passed on to family members after they die. But Alice's son never visited. He didn't care about his mum. Why would he care about some worthless piece of jewellery? It just doesn't feel right to me. What do you think, Doctor? Am I wrong to keep the locket?
So she's asking me to specifically confirm the negative state, so then say no? Just on its own, I suppose?
I'm not sure about that.
No, keep the locket.
I feel like you're asking...
Oh my god. Trying to figure out how to answer a question that's literally a yes or no question in this game can be so frustrating at times. I'm like, what do you want from me? I try saying yes or no on its own, I try saying yes or no plus specific words from the sentence, and I'm like, what else? At some point, if it's just a yes or no question, you might as well just say yes or no on the screen and have me click on one, because trying to catch the phrase here is so weird, and I feel like if I guess enough times, I'm going to eventually end up answering the opposite answer on accident. What if I say yes? No? Yes, keep the locket.
I think we've got a bit off track.
No, it is not wrong to keep the locket.
Thank you, Doctor. That makes me feel much better. I shouldn't let what Terry says bother me so much.
Part time. Some of them hate sentences and some of them love sentences. You gotta figure out which one is which, because oftentimes writing a full sentence often makes it way harder to actually proceed, but other times writing a sentence is the only way to actually continue. It's interesting. Kind of goes all over the place there. Let's ask about the ring. Nope. China bird. Now they all point to the same thing ultimately, so it doesn't really matter which one you go on to. Okay, then it's pretty much safe to move on to Mariana then. We're back with you. The first character we interacted with at the beginning. Nudie Beach Lady. How are you doing today?
I haven't been back to the beach since our last session, and no blackouts, new doctor, and new hope. You're much better behaved than Dr. Dekker.
Better behaved? What did Dr. Dekker do?
Dr. Dekker dated his patients. That's not good behavior, is it?
Did you date Dr. Dekker?
Just ask me one thing, Doctor.
That was not multiple things. Did he date you?
Clueless.
Date.
Sorry, no. I think your button's undone.
Was that an RNG? Oh, that was an RNG one. Okay. I was confused for a second there.
Dr. Dekker dated his patient.
Dated his patients. I was gonna ask if she did, but I guess I can ask about all of them in general.
I think her name was Scarlett? One of his patients, an older woman. I guess that's how he liked them.
That was phrased like you felt left out or something. What's going on there, huh? Let's ask about Scarlett.
It's Scarlett with 2 T's. Pretentious.
How did you know how I was spelling it? Alright, let's try Scarlett. Scarlet.
Sorry, say
Ed. Let's trace back then. Okay, so you haven't been back to the beach. There's been no more blackouts. No more blackouts. Beach.
I haven't been back to the beach since our last session. I've kind of missed it.
Missed it?
You do something a lot, you're gonna miss it. I suspect I'll go back there soon, but it's helped with the blackouts.
I mean, now if she goes away from the beach for a long time and the blackouts stop the whole time, and then the moment she goes back, the blackouts return, that'd definitely be a pretty big confirmation as to the exact cause of said blackouts in the first place. Let's go back a little bit. Where were you on Valentine's Day?
I didn't do anything on Valentine's Day. I washed my hair, and then I walked along the beach for the whole night. It's actually true. I saw one of your patients, actually. The nurse. She was on the pier with someone. Pretty much all of the night, too, so I can vouch for her, even though she probably didn't see me.
Okay, that's interesting. On one hand, maybe she overheard something and she's just glomming onto somebody else's alibi. But on the more likely thing, yeah, it seems like we now have 2 cases of characters confirming the presences of other characters and their alibis, which quickly removes like 4 characters from the list of possible murderers, possibly. If there even is a murder, it could have been a suicide for all we know. Let's try to recap here. So Mariana saw Ellen. Very easy to remember because we just talked to these 2 characters back to back. Who else was it? I think it was Jasmine. Because Claire is the crazy one that's all on her own all the time. The one, well, calling them crazy is problematic when you're being there, when we're doing what we're doing. But she's the one who seems to hallucinate her dead husband. Yeah, Lacey did not have an alibi. She is all on her own. But I believe it was Bryce and Jasmine. Because she's at the art installation. I think Bryce was there being irritating, probably. Because Nathan was... it wasn't Nathan, was it? Mind Stretch Outreach. Oh my god. Forgot about the BuzzFeed topic. You're the one that's on a dead end. Octopus. I'm pretty sure it was Bryce. I knew it was one of the guys. Wow, I forgot about some of these lines. Let's see. Wasn't that... oh yeah, now I remember. I think it was Bryce, and I think it was specifically like problematic because Bryce wouldn't confirm it while Jasmine would. So I don't think they actually confirmed it last time as a third party, whereas Mariana is now independently confirming Ellen's story. Interesting. Okay. Valentine's night. You were back on the beach. You're walking the beach on Valentine's? No? So you saw Ellen.
No idea.
And you have no idea who their name is, so that doesn't really help.
I didn't do anything on Valentine's Day. I washed my hair, and then I walked along the beach for the whole night. It's actually true. I saw one of your patients, actually. The nurse. She was on the pier with someone. Pretty much all of the night, too, so I can vouch for her, even though she probably didn't see me.
So her alibi is basically useless aside from the fact that it seems to confirm a different person's presence. Doctor Dekker was stabbed.
We went out for drinks. Didn't you know? He said it was a breach of something or the other, but I can be pretty persuasive when I want to be. Shh.
You were trying to get around with her. Persuasive, you see?
I know, it's pretty hard to believe, isn't it? I feel pretty ugly. But I think I have a nice smile.
Sure, you have a nice smile.
Lots of people find me attractive, but I've seen something truly beautiful. Makes me feel dull by comparison.
So she's saying she saw something so beautiful it makes her think that she's not beautiful.
I have a recurring dream where I find something beautiful in the sea. But I don't know you that well yet, Doctor. Let's wait a while before I tell you my most intimate secrets.
Sorry to cut in, Doctor. I've just had a phone call from a solicitor. Ben's trying to sue us for nervous shock. Should I go and see him to talk it out, or should I find a solicitor to represent us? Sorry to be pushy, I just think we should act quickly before it's too late. Okay, well, just let me know.
Blah. Blah. That, like, actually made me jump. She just bursts in, she's filling up the entire frame of the camera, and there's like a sting in the music went vroom, like just to add to the moment. Like, what the? Jesus, Jaya. I guess it was triggered by the fact that we apparently finished Mariana's story here. Wow, that was like immediately. We immediately finished up the stuff. There's still more to investigate apparently, but that's enough to get her out of red zone apparently. Oh yeah, that's a good point. You did say... Didn't you say you don't drink?
I guess it was a couple of days before Valentine's Day. It wasn't a date or anything. I noticed in our sessions that he'd been acting a little strange. He just didn't seem right. I wanted to find out what was wrong.
I feel like that followed up on the whole topic of them having drinks, but not necessarily the part where, like, the you don't drink. Nope. It's not going on there. What was wrong, then?
I don't know.
Oh, that's not a related response. Some of these things just feel like actual responses until I realize that they're one of the random ones.
I guess it was a couple of days before Valentine's Day. It wasn't a date or anything. I noticed in our sessions that he'd been acting a little strange. He just didn't seem right. I wanted to find out what was wrong.
Did you find out what was wrong?
No idea. Is that...
That's not a reasonable response to that question. Dekker was acting strangely?
For a lot of our sessions, he would be pretty impartial. A passive listener. But towards the end, he liked interfering. Like, he wanted to push me over the edge.
Sounds like he might have been responding to how he took the tape over the edge.
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Interfering.
I'm not sure how this therapy thing works, but if you're talking to a guy who wants to jump off a cliff, don't tell him to jump.
Jump?
It's just an example. I'm not a guy. I don't want to jump off a cliff.
Yeah, but where are we going with this? Push?
I just felt like I had some kind of special power. And part of me wanted to use it. And he urged me to do that. I don't want to say any more about it, not now.
So we're talking about... He gets that knowledge about the the supernatural elements of what's going on here. The potentially eldritch abomination stuff going on here, and the superpowers and the power of therapy, and he chose to take a side. Special power?
I'm a shape-shifting vampire werewolf. I said I didn't want to talk about it. What is it you're thinking about when you're not listening to me?
Shape-shifting vampire werewolf. Yeah, you say that like a joke, but somebody else in the group already is a shapeshifter according to themselves, so he wouldn't even be the first one.